one of these three men is the son of a little rascal? Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Bill Thomas, Jr.
Number two.
My name is Bill Thomas, Jr.
Number three.
My name is Bill Thomas, Jr.
Only one of these people is the real Bill Thomas, Jr. and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Actor and raconteur Orson Bean. Co-star of Head of the Class, Christine Hodge. Film and television producer David Niven Jr. And to tell the truth's very own Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Lynn Swann.
Thank you very much. Oh, here we are. Another good morning and good morning panel. David, you're doing a wonderful job.
Too far.
She doesn't have a stomach anymore, David, but that's okay.
I was a gentleman indeed.
Let's get right to the story presented by our first team of challengers, all three of whom claim to be Bill Thomas, Jr. And here's his story. Please read along with me. I, Bill Thomas, Jr., am Buckwheat's son. My father, Bill Thomas, Sr., portrayed the lovable little rascal Buckwheat in 89 Our Gang comedies. The characters, Spanky, Darla, Alfalfa, and Porky, all seen here, are loved by generations of movie fans. Over the years, there's been great speculation as to the whereabouts of the actors who played the little rascals. As for my father, he gave up acting when his MGM contract expired. Since then, there have been at least 5 known imposters claiming to be Buckwheat. Recently, someone appeared on a national TV show passing himself off as Buckwheat. When the fraud was uncovered, the producer of the segment resigned. I'm here to set the record straight. My father, Bill Thomas Sr., passed away in 1980, but he still lives in my heart and in the hearts of all his fans that know him as Buckwheat. Signed, Bill Thomas, Jr. We're going to find out more about Buckwheat Jr. right after this. Welcome back. All right, panel, these three people all claim to be Bill Thomas Jr., whose father played in Our Gang comedies. Let's start the questioning with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Number one, why was he called Buckwheat?
That was the name that the producer, Harold Roach, chose. He liked breakfast cereals, so
He invented
Buckwheat.
it.
Yes.
And number two, why did the producer resign? Did he know that the man on the show who called himself Buckwheat was an imposter?
Yes. Later they found out the information that led to the real story, and I guess through the embarrassment, that's, you know.
I see. Thank you. Number three, how was it growing up with Buckwheat as a father?
It was fun. It was really exciting. Naturally, you got more attention than you really wanted, but just...
Number one, are you in show business?
No.
What do you do?
Probation officer.
Oh, and number two?
Kitty, thank you. David.
Thank you. Excuse me. You said there were 5 known imposters, number one. What did they do impostoring?
Well, they claimed that they were indeed Buckwheat, and with that they went on to do talk shows and were in newspapers as a result.
Okay, and number 2, how did you punish those naughty impersonators?
Well, I actually didn't punish anyone. My thing was I just never wanted my father's credibility to be damaged. That was my main concern.
All right, thank you. Number 3, the person who just recently appeared on national television, what did he say about your father that you didn't agree with?
Well, basically he said that he was a Buckwheat in the series.
Okay.
He only had one father. You didn't want another one, David.
I thought we might go a little bit further with that.
Christine.
Number 3, are any of the other actors who played the Little Rascal characters still alive?
Yes, they are.
Number 2, what actors are still alive from?
Well, there's George McFarlane. There's the guy that played Mickey, Robert Blake. and is also one of my father's favorite, which was Tommy Lee, who was Porky.
Oh, thanks. Number 1, what did this man, the imposter, the most recent one, what did he do to convince that television show that he was Buckwheat?
Well, what he did, he had a number of people who knew him verify that he was indeed Buckwheat. He'd been there for a while saying that he was Buckwheat, and he passed it to 2020, and they bought it.
I see. Number 3. Oops.
Christine, thank you. Orson.
Okay, number 2.
Okay.
What do you think of Eddie Murphy's portrayal of your dad?
Well, it's simply a portrayal, and I think it's cute.
I think it's wonderful because he could only make him such a terrible person because everyone knows what a wonderful person he really was. Now, number 3. Now, did your father ever talk to you about how it really was to make these movies?
Yes, I got the best story.
The best stories?
The best stories. It was fun, he said.
Yeah.
It was a lot of play, and of course, they had a lot of free time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Number 1, was it hard work, do you know? Did your dad tell you whether it was...
No, what my father said, it was a lot of fun because Hal Roach took good care of the kids. He gave them everything they wanted.
I met Hal Roach, number 1, and he's a marvelous guy. Now, did they become good friends?
I'm sorry.
The Rascals?
The time is up, panel. Time for you to vote for either number 1, number 2, or number 3. Our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if our panel is completely fooled, the team will receive $3,000. All right, Kitty.
Oh, thank you very much, because I have really no idea at all. They were all so good. Number 2 knew the names of all the other kids, and number 1 sounded so convincing. I kind of like number 3, though. He said it was fun at home, and there was a lot of free time, and I thought it was sounded like a nice family.
Okay. Number 3.
Stick it forward. Well, I mean, I don't usually agree with you, Kitty, and today is no exception. So, I'm going to vote. I voted for number 2 because I was very impressed how easily he's explained where the other little rascals are today and who they are.
Christine, did you ever see the Little Rascals?
Oh, yes, of course. I am Darla. I am. Can I be on 2020 now? Oh, all right. Well, at first I thought that I recognized this man, and then I was torn, but you all were very good because it made me uncertain, but I'm going to disqualify myself because I'm afraid I did recognize the rebuttal.
Okay.
Man came on television.
Disqualification will count as an incorrect vote.
Okay.
Orson.
I voted for number 2. It could have been any of them. They're all charming, and it's so good to know that a lot of times child stars grow up to tragic lives, but apparently Buckwheat grew up and obviously has a wonderful son.
Okay, let's recap the votes. Number 1, you didn't get a vote. Number 2, you have 2 votes, and number 3, you have a single vote. Well, now it's time to find out who the real son of Buckwheat is. Will the real Bill Thomas Jr. please stand up? Yeah. Number 3. That's good. Very, very good. I have to ask you, when these people were impersonating your father, I mean, were you angry? Or that upset you quite a bit?
No, it caught me by surprise. I got a call that they were going to air something, but I didn't know exactly what it was, and it amazed me. But it's part of the territory, and the First Amendment is right there. So I guess he had that right to a degree.
They all wanted to be famous for a little bit. They all wanted to be Buckwheat. Huh? Well, that's too bad. You know, I'm glad you found out that they weren't, and you exposed them and helped keep everything straight. Let's meet your imposters. Number 1, what's your name and what do you really do?
My name is Wallace Scaniers, and I'm a public relations representative and certified nutritionist for Mrs. Gooch's.
Wonderful. Number 2, your name and what do you really do?
My name is Maurice Howard, and I'm a dental technician, and I paint the famous Melrose Clown, famous L.A. mural.
Terrific. Well, thank you for being here. Your team will get credit for that disqualification, so you have 3 incorrect votes and $500 a vote. That comes to $1,500 for your team. Thank you very much for being here today on To Tell the Truth. We'll be right back with a teenage designer right after this. We're back on To Tell the Truth. Let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Jamie White.
Number 2,
My name is Jamie White.
Number 3.
My name is Jamie White.
And it's up to you, panel, to locate the real Jamie White, and here's her story. Please follow me as I read her affidavit. I, Jamie White, am a clothes designer. I create teenage fashions that are really cool. They're made of 100% cotton. My first designs were made to look like flour and sugar sacks printed with company slogans. Some of my comfortable separates are fashioned of tie-dyed cotton, and all of them are interchangeable. Flour sack designs are fun and have really caught on. It's exciting to go into big stores and see my clothes alongside the big-name designers. But what's really exciting is to know where the money goes. 100% of all the profits go to support summer camps for inner-city kids and mentally handicapped children. Last year, we contributed $400,000. I'm truly privileged. Signed, Jamie White. Orson, young fashion designers. We'll start with you.
What a great idea. Number 2, originally flour sacks were worn by poor kids who really couldn't afford anything else. Now, is that part of your idea of contributing the profits to underprivileged kids?
No, I didn't know anything about that.
Well, let me tell you, number 2. You see what happened? Well, number 3, how about you? Didn't you know that like poor sharecroppers kids wore a flour sack because they couldn't afford a real dress?
Actually, it's sort of strange that you say that because where I got my idea was from a camp.
All right. Well, I say a lot of strange things, number 3. Number 1, now, I see that you're the only one wearing something like a flour sack and the other 2 aren't. Is that in your past? Are you on to doing other stuff now?
Yes, I do a lot of tie-dye now.
Tie-dyeing, yeah. But are you... All right.
Orson, thank you. Christine.
Number 1, how did you decide to use the flour sack idea?
Actually, I saw a commercial, and I got the idea from that. I thought it would be really cute if I made a flour sack into a T-shirt or a shirt.
Okay, number 2, who helped you get started with your fashion business?
My dad did, mainly.
Okay, and number 3, what made you decide to donate the money to the camp?
Well, I started by getting my idea at a camp, and so I wanted to donate my money for children to go there who didn't have the privilege to go there already.
I see. Number 2.
Christine, that could be casual wear for head of the class, huh?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Head of the class flour sack wear.
Yeah, why not? Number 1, where do you design these clothes?
Actually, I start out by sketching them on a piece of paper, and then I show my ideas at a business meeting, and they decide which ones they like and which ones they don't like.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Number 2, what actually is tie-dye?
Tie-dye is clothes where you, like, tie things around it or rubber bands and dip it in dye, and the part that was in the rubber bands doesn't dye.
Okay.
Stays alive.
Yes, okay. Number 3, in which big stores are these clothes?
Well, there's some in Dillard's right now, and there's some in smaller stores also.
All right. Number 1, with most parents liking nylon or rayon or polyester in their clothes for their children so they retain the shape, do you find an objection with parents just having cotton clothes?
No, I think cotton's a lot softer, and it feels a lot more comfortable.
And what age?
David, thank you. Kitty.
Okay. Number 2, how much do you make to be able to contribute $400,000?
We come out of the rut, and we've made a little bit of profit so far.
I see. Number 3, do you have a factory?
Well, it's a factory, and it's located in Las Vegas, but it's more of just people working together to work on the clothing.
Number 1, do you sew?
No, I don't.
And number 2, do you have a factory?
Yes, we do. People pre-make the clothes, and we screen it.
And number 3, who does all the marketing and selling to the stores and all that? Do you do that?
No, my father does that.
Number 1, is your father in the business of clothes?
No, he's not.
What does he do?
Oh, time is up. Panel, time for you to vote for either number 1, number 2, or number 3. Orson.
It's not possible that it's not any of them, right?
No, it is one of them.
Well, since I have to vote, I'll vote for number 2. I couldn't believe that she didn't know that poor kids used to wear flour sacks, but when she said people pre-make the clothes and we screen them, that made sense, so I voted for it.
Okay, Christine.
Are you sure it's not a none of them?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm not sure, but they told me one of them really is.
One of them is sworn to tell the truth.
Yes.
So I thought that number 2 seemed very honest. She knew what she was saying.
All right. Not that the other 2 didn't, but
the other 2
more
did as well.
honest.
It was very difficult.
David.
I don't agree with either of you. I have I thought for some strange reason that when number 2 said it was tie-dyed is because you tied around, I thought tie-dye supposed to was something that came from Thailand or Siam. So therefore...
No, she's
well,
right.
she may be right, but I thought she was wrong. So therefore I voted for number 1.
Because you didn't know.
Because
you
I
thought
didn't
she
know.
was
Well,
wrong.
that's, not the first time.
Well, I nearly voted for number 3 because she said her father did the marketing and he was in the business of clothes probably. But number 2 knew about tie-dye. That's sort of the way you do it. You can do it with wax as well, but that's a lot more complicated. And I didn't quite believe number 1, so I voted for number 2.
Well, with our panel's vote all in, number 1, you have a single vote. Number 2, you've got the panel's confidence. And number 3, you didn't get a vote. Now let's find out who the real flour sack designer is. Will the real Jamie White please stand up? Panel, you're too good. Jamie, it's a tremendous thing that you're doing, donating money to all these kids for this camp. How many people help you with this in total?
With the business?
Yeah, with the whole project.
Pretty much my dad and a lady named Suzette Bronner, who's a sales manager, and Bob Abel, who puts everything together.
Well, that's terrific. You're to be commended for the effort that you make.
Thank you.
Let's find out who your imposters are. Number 1, your name and what do you do?
My name is Jillian Slesny, and I go to Notre Dame High School, and I love to dance.
Wonderful. Number 3, your name and what do you do?
My name is Samantha Zog, and I attend University of San Diego High School, and I'm currently Miss Teen San Diego.
Terrific. Well, it's wonderful having you here. There was 1 incorrect vote, so your team will receive the guarantee of $1,000. Thank you for playing on To Tell the Truth. We'll be right back to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience right after this. It is now time to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience. So, Burton, who do you have for us today?
Lynn, today meets James Maxino from San Dimas, California.
James, welcome.
Hello, Lynn.
Your chance now to play one-on-one. I want you to meet a woman who has 2 stories. Please welcome Gail Frazier. Gail, welcome to the show. Now, James, Gail is going to tell you 2 stories, only one of which is the truth. If you can spot that true story, you'll win $500. So, Gail, what's your first story?
I was born in my father's car. I've been driving that car all my life.
All right, James, that may or may not be the truth. Gail, what's your second story?
I'm a moose counter for the U.S. Forest Service. I count moose in Idaho.
All right, panel, you can help James win $500. You'll ask 1 question about each story. Katie, as usual, we begin with you about the car.
Gail Frazier, what kind of a car was it?
It was a 1913 Model T Ford.
Ah, thank
David.
How much mileage do you have on this car today?
Well over 340,000 miles.
Christine.
What's the insurance like in a car like that?
About $200 a year.
Orson.
Model T was not known for its shocks. Did you have a bumpy berth?
Yes, yes, I did.
Well,
I can't remember it, but I did.
Well, you look fine now.
All right, James, you heard the first story. Now the second story, the moose counter. Kitty?
A moose ever legally hunted in this country?
They're legally hunted with a permit.
Ah, thank you.
David?
The plural of goose is geese. What is the plural of moose?
It is not mace.
Christine?
How do you count a moose? Do you have to go out into the forest and track them down, or?
Yes, I sit under a tree and watch them when they go by.
Count the antlers and divide by 2 is what you do. Now, are mooses nice? Would you go out with a moose if he asked you? I mean, is it...
No, not really.
They're not nice. I'm sorry to hear that.
No.
All right, James, you've heard this brilliant cross-examination. Is Gail the woman who was born in the car and she still drives it, or does she count moose?
It sounds more believable that she was born in the car and she's still driving it. She sounds so much more believable, that her answers.
So you believe
I believe the car.
You believe she was born in the car. Okay, Gail, what is your true story?
To tell the truth, I count moose.
I'm sorry, James. We do have a lovely gift for you. And Gail, for stumping James, you get $1,000. That's terrific. Listen, we have some tape of you out looking for moose. Let's look at it and you tell us what's going on.
I'm standing by the lake, and that moose's name is Lily. And
name all the moose?
And most of them. And directly across there's a bull, and I've named him Old King Henry.
Bill, thank you very much for playing one-on-one with us here on To Tell the Truth.
I've enjoyed it.
You're
Thank
terrific.
You.
We'll be right back after this. Terrific. Everyone did a terrific job. Thank you for watching on To Tell the Truth. We will see you all next time. Goodbye.
Behold the day with GSN's daily affirmations.
Let the games begin.
I will take risks. I will accept challenge.
Please do this for me.
I am a winner. See your affirmations in action weekdays from 9 to 3. Only on GSN. GSN.